place. I want to take you today to Romans chapter 10, verses 9 to 10. And it says this: if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Now, these verses are probably the most quoted when it comes to leading someone to Christ. Confess plus believe equals saved. Yes, it's that simple. Believe and confess. We've talked about both of these words many times. Confession is in the Greek is homologeo, and it means say the same thing. Confession is not putting a list together of all the sins you have committed. Confession is not saying to the Lord, I am a sinner. Now, while this sounds like it would be the right thing to confess before God, this is not saying the same thing that God says. God says, I love you. I sent my son for you. He took your place in my judgment. You are forgiven. And God didn't say to you, you are a sinner. Confession is saying what God says. And he says, you are loved, you are forgiven, you are my beloved son. That's confession. But confession, even saying what God says, is just words if there is no belief or faith. Multiple times, Jesus tells us we will have what we believe for. Mark 11:22 to 24 is the clearest on that subject. Why don't we read that? Mark 11, verses 22 to 24. And Jesus answered them, have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received, and it will be yours. This includes salvation, but also so much more. The important thing is never stop believing, never stop confessing. This means we all have to do some studying. We need to know what God is saying before we try believing or confessing. James tells us that we have not because we ask not. We have not because we ask amiss. We ask without knowing what God is telling us about the situation we find us in at the moment. It has been said time and again about not looking for the formula of answers to prayer. God does things different almost every time. So let's find out what he is saying, say the same thing that he is saying, and believe what he and we are saying. Wow. I look forward to hearing testimonies of how this works for you. God bless you richly. We'll see you next time.